We need to talk about TikTok. It is still one of the best social networks to take you from zero to viral practically overnight. In fact, definitely overnight. But this is easier said than done. Is it just a case of getting lucky? Or are there some tactics and strategies that you can put into practice to achieve success on TikTok? Obviously, the answer is yes, and that is exactly what I'm going to be unpacking in this video. If you've come here to find out how to get more followers on TikTok, you have come to the right place. Today, I'm going to be sharing actionable, sensible tips that you can put into practice right now to help you grow your TikTok following. We're not going to be talking engagement hacks or buying followers. Please don't do that. That will only come back to bite you. But first, hey everyone, my name is Kirsty Lang. I am a senior content writer at Buffer and I'm a creator. Now, I love TikTok. I'm a little bit obsessed. And I have sunk considerable hours into the platform, figuring out what works and what doesn't. In fact, I have just embarked on a wild 30-day TikTok experiment that helped me grow my following by more than 1,000% and earn more than 350,000 views in 30 days. I'm very proud of myself. Basically, I've done the legwork so that you don't have to. First, I want to talk about why having a good follower count on TikTok actually matters. Things are shifting a little bit in social media at the moment where follower count is not necessarily as important as it used to be, and views are probably a better metric of success on TikTok. But follower count is still important for the platform itself. For example, you need to have 1,000 followers to have a link in bio, to use TikTok Live. You need to have 10,000 followers to join the TikTok Creativity Program. Beyond all that, if you are a business, having a good following on TikTok can help you boost your brand's reach and visibility. The same goes for creators, and it may also help you monetize your content, which is pretty cool. Let's get into those tips, shall we? My first and probably the most important tip for growing your following on TikTok is know your niche or niches. And I'm going to explain why in a little bit. If you listen to nothing else I tell you today, remember this. Random videos equal random results. I think a lot of people and brands fall into the trap of thinking they can just post any old thing on TikTok and maybe go viral, maybe achieve success. It's really the luck of the draw, but that's not exactly how it works. At least if growth is your goal. Think about this. If you're a TikTok regular, how do you use the platform? If you're scrolling through your For You page or your FYP and you find a video that really interests you, you're going to tap over to that person's profile and see what else is on their page to see if you want to follow them. Is there similar content there? Can you find more of what intrigued you in the first place? If yes, are they worth a follow? Now, what happens if you tap over to their profile and you see nothing like the video that interested you on the FYP? Here's an example of one of my earlier videos before I started focusing on TikTok. It's a random assortment of fitness things. Say you came across this video on your FYP and you liked it enough to tempt you to follow me. I don't know why, it's not a very good video. But you tap over to my profile and you see what else is there. From around this time, you'll see clips from my podcast, things about motherhood, life at Buffer, no fitness. I've lost you. You're tapping back to your FYP, scrolling along your way, and completely forgetting that I ever existed. Moral of the story is that you need to niche down. Now, I know what you're thinking. You don't want to post only one thing until the end of time. That would get pretty boring pretty quickly for most folks. So what I would advise you to do here is pick several connected niches rather than just one. Let's go back to my previous example. I only really started niching down at the outset of my TikTok experiment, where I had incredible success with a Get Ready With Me video that talked about how I landed my job at Buffer. After that, I leaned into videos about how to find remote work, what remote working is really like, and my at-home office setup. These topics are connected enough that if someone finds one of them on the FYP and taps over to my profile, they might still be interested in following me. So yes, niching down is important, but I would advise that you pick several connected niches or content pillars to prevent you from getting bored. All right, let's talk about one of the most underrated but critical elements of TikTok success. In fact, not even just TikTok, social media in general. Consistency. It makes sense that TikTok and other social media platforms' algorithms will reward you for this behavior. TikTok wants to keep users on its platform, and in order to do that, it needs a new and interesting, steady stream of content from creators like you. They need you. My theory is that to reward this behavior, the more consistently you post on the platform, the more you're going to be rewarded. So it's a bit of a snowball effect. The more you post, the more success you will have. Another really important factor that comes into play here is that practice makes perfect. So the more you create, the better you're going to get at creating. This is definitely something that I saw in my own work in my 30-day TikTok experiment. My filming, my editing, my presenting, it all got better and better with each video that I created. And the better your video quality, the more likely you are to see follower growth and engagement. Now, before you get overwhelmed, I'm not saying that you need to post 5 times a day or even once a day. Quality is still more important than quantity. But having a consistent schedule, whether it's multiple times a day, 3 times a week, every other day, whatever works best for you, is really going to impact how your content performs. It's all about finding a balance between staying consistent and finding a schedule that is manageable for you. So a great way to stick to a schedule is to create a content calendar. Trust me, a little bit of planning goes a long way. I love a content calendar and I have been using them my entire career, whether that is as a social media manager or creator. I live by content calendars. In fact, this might be the most important tip. No, number one was still the most important tip, but this is a very close second. If you're not sure where to start, I have got a whole series of content calendar templates up on the Buffer blog that you can download and start using right away. Got PDFs, Excel spreadsheet, Canva templates, things that you can print, and of course my personal favorite, Buffer itself. I really am obsessed with content calendars. Anyway, you can download them and start using them right away. No setup required. Moving on to tip number 3, and that is focus on strong hooks. So TikTok is not exactly forthcoming about the strongest signals in their algorithm, but the general consensus, and something that I can personally attest to, is that watch time seems to have an outsized impact. So watch time is how long people are pausing and watching, obviously, your video in the FYP rather than swiping down to see the next video. On the FYP, you have at best 2 seconds, probably less, to grab people's attention. How do you make sure that people keep watching your videos? A strong, clear hook. At the bare minimum, that means stating, either vocally or with text, right at the outset, what your video is about and what kind of value people are going to get from your video. That's it. Get ready with me while I tell you how I got my remote job. This is what I eat in a day as a personal trainer. But if you do want to take it a step further, there are some subtle tactics that you can employ to make your video even more enticing to TikTok users. A tactic that has worked really well for me and a lot of other TikTok creators and brands is indicating that you are offering some sort of exclusive value in your video. For example, for gatekeeping, this is the exact process that I would use if I was looking to find a remote job from outside the US today. No gatekeeping, a TikTok favorite, implies that you are about to share knowledge that others wouldn't want public because it gives them an edge. This is the exact strategy that I would use, offers clear value. And then find a remote job is a great keyword and something users on TikTok might search for. All right, number 4 is trending sounds and formats. Trends are the lifeblood of TikTok. They come and go quickly, but if you catch them while they're hot, they really can have an impact in how your content performs. That said, I want to be clear here, trends are not a magic bullet. They can be incredible for views, but if they don't align with the point I made right up front in number 1, they're not going to have much of an impact for growing your following. Let's recap. Random videos equal random results. But if you can make a trending sound, trending format, whatever the case is, if you can make it work for your particular niche, run, don't walk. Trends can be incredible for boosting views, and if it ties in well to the rest of your TikTok strategy, they can boost followers as well. Here is a super simple example from me. I tapped into the if you were to ask me about TikTok carousel trend, which I used to talk about the benefits of remote work, so it tied in really well with my content niche. It earned me 15,000 views and a solid chunk of new followers. All right, if you are still with me, congrats, I'm proud of you. We are on to the last tip, that is tip number 5. And that is publish at the right time. Timing is everything. Posting your videos when your audience is most active can help boost engagement and in turn following. But how do you figure that out? Especially if you are a new TikTok account, it can be difficult to figure out when you need to be posting, when your audience is active, because you probably haven't found most of your audience yet. If that sounds like you, don't worry, we have got you. We conducted a fascinating analysis of more than 1 million TikToks, and we pinpointed some very clear patterns in the way posting time affects reach. Here is a high-level overview of the best posting times for each day of the week. I'm also going to post a link below to the resource if you want to take a deeper dive. Now, it is absolutely worth experimenting with these posting times, especially if you have a new TikTok account. But no 2 for TikTok audiences are exactly the same. My particular best posting time might not necessarily be your best posting time. So how do you figure out your particular best posting time? Again, you're in luck. It is very, very easy to do this. What you're going to do to figure this out is you are going to head over to your TikTok profile, tap on TikTok Studio, then Analysis, then Followers, and you're going to scroll all the way down to see what times your followers are most active. or rather what times your followers have been most active on each day of the week, and you'll be able to see there are some very predictable patterns in weekdays and on weekends. And with that, that is everything. 5 tried and tested tips to help you grow your TikTok following and make the most of the platform. If you found this video helpful, please do give it a thumbs up or pop a comment below, because we're creating a whole bunch of videos just like this one to help you achieve social media success.